As the effects of anthropogenic climate change become ever apparent in our world, and governments around the world scramble to enact regulatory changes designed to phase out the use of internal combustion engine vehicles, governments who had previously set targets for 10 to 15 years' time are now working to speed up their original goals. And in the state of California, that's exactly what state Democrats are trying to do, issuing a resolution to call on the state legislature to move forward plans to ban new internal combustion engine vehicle sales from the previous target of 2035 to 2030. It comes as many large Californian cities, including LA, Oakland and Berkeley, have announced their intent to enact local bans on new ICE vehicle sales from 2030 onwards, and it's hoped that the resolution will be quickly responded to. But with the gubernatorial recall election set for later this month and some of the frontrunners vocally opposed to banning ICE vehicles or protecting the environment, things could get messy. Watch this space. Save for a last-minute catastrophe, Rivian will be the first automaker to bring a new generation of purpose-built all-electric pickups to make it to market, with deliveries currently due to start this month. And Rivian has reached just yet another important milestone in the process, with the R1T electric pickup truck and R1S electric SUV both receiving official range and efficiency ratings from the EPA. Rivian's frankly massive 135 kWh battery pack in both vehicles, of which all but 2 kWh are usable, provides 314 and 316 miles of range for the R1T and R1S respectively on the EPA test cycle. That's just over 500 kilometers. As the first electric truck to market, the R1T doesn't have anything we compare to, but the R1S does fall well behind Tesla's full-sized SUV, the Model X long range in terms of both range and efficiency, and the Model X performance on efficiency. That said, it's arguable that the R1S is more off-road oriented than Model X. To be honest though, both Rivian models have more than enough range for most people's needs, and we cannot wait to give them a go. Nikola Motor, which has spent a year in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons after short seller Hindenburg Research published evidence that it had misled investors, something that led to the departure and eventual indictment of the company's CEO, is nonetheless moving forwards with plans to manufacture its hydrogen fuel cell Nikola 2 and Nikola Tre trucks. Now it's announced a partnership with Bosch, who will provide complete fuel cell modules as well as other major components that Nikola needs to produce working fuel cell vehicles for eager customers. While Nikola says it has a contract with Bosch and that doesn't preclude it working with other suppliers, the announcement has raised questions about Nikola's previous relationship with General Motors, with whom it had previously entered into a non-binding agreement for the provision of fuel cell components. We would love to see the company succeed, but in the wake of the scandals surrounding Nikola and the so-called Gravity Gate debacle, anything it says should be taken with a rather large pinch of salt. Renault is a big name in the EV world in Europe. The Zoe has been a bestseller in several countries, and the brand also offers electric vans, as well as the funky Renault Motorsport engineered Twizy city car. But then I'm biased because I've owned two. And that's just the start. Renault has revealed a gorgeous electric version of its legendary Renault 5 hatchback, along with a host of upcoming EV models, part of a plan to have a nearly all-electric lineup by the end of the decade. So it was surprising to hear that Renault is lobbying the European Union to push back its ban on new internal combustion engine cars to 2040 from the planned 2035 date. The reason? Renault says that cost considerations make it reluctant to go all-electric with its Dacia sub-brand. It wants the EU to keep ICE cars on the road for many years to come. Its concern is whether Dacia customers want EVs and keeping profits up at the low price point Dacia is known for. It's a disappointing move from a company that's been really impressing us, but it highlights what we've already known. Automakers still need serious sticks to go all-electric. Computers are just as much part of modern cars as motors, batteries or engines, and for decades people have been modifying their rides by tweaking the electronic brains inside them. We've known for a long time that there's a thriving hacking community oriented around Tesla, with hackers doing everything from enabling software-locked features to getting cars to accept replacement parts, to re-enabling supercharger for salvage title vehicles. Now Electrek is reporting that a Tesla hacking community has a new thing to play with, Tesla's full self-driving or FSD beta release. Apparently, while several versions of FSD beta have been making their way through the community for a while now, a video featuring an older FSD beta being used on a rooted car in Ukraine, where it's very much not available, has made things more public. Elon Musk says the newest version FSD beta should go out to all purchasers of full self-driving by the end of the month as an optional public beta, so we'll see if people still want to play with the hacked version once the proper one comes out. But at $10,000 for FSD, we imagine some people will just risk it. Most people who've heard of Sono Motors and its Xeon EV know about the car's solar panels, which adds power back into the battery pack without the need to plug in. But now Sono has announced something that caught our eye. The company has developed the first bidirectional AC wall unit for vehicle-to-home power transfer. Vehicle-to-home, vehicle-to-load and vehicle-to-grid functionality isn't new, but it's becoming a big selling point for many automakers and prospective buyers. But what's new about the new Sono unit is that it's AC only, with a DC to AC conversion happening on board the Xeon, rather than in the box like you'd see with a Nissan or Ford system. That simplifies the design of the wall box, and Sono says it will bring the cost down considerably over DC systems. The Xeon already has been shown capable of recharging another EV from its onboard Type 2 plug, so this only further expands the intended capability of the whole concept. Sono just needs to get them built and into customers' hands. Hint, hint. LG Energy has had a pretty naff year. It won a US court battle against its mortal enemy SK Innovation over IP theft, only to have the current US administration step in and overturn the ruling. And of course, there's been the matter of $800 million worth of costs associated with the ongoing battery recall for the Hyundai Kona EV, which it's wholly responsible for, and the matter of the Chevrolet Bolt EVs catching fire due to faulty battery cells made by LG Energy, something which GM says it's seeking at least $1 billion of compensation over. But LG is trying hard to turn things around, and according to several sources, the Korean company has been working on developing lithium iron phosphate or LFP batteries for nearly a year. More stable than NCM batteries, LFP batteries have a lower energy density but are far more chemically stable, rarely overheat, and are considered a smarter choice for battery packs used in entry-level EVs that rarely need that performance of higher-priced models. Right now, Chinese companies like CATL are already making LFP batteries, and Tesla is using LFP batteries in certain Model 3 and Model Y variants. If LG can figure this one out, it could save its reputation.